Hello and welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas. So today we are playing our 8th session of Lancer. Yes, Lancer, the 50% skirmish, more than 50% skirmish, tabletop RPG. We are attempting to play that solo using the Lancer GME that I wrote and that clashes with the background. So, what happened last session? We had a skirmish. It was in space. We had some asteroids. We were trying to get Jen, our VIP, who is a frame design genius, and the corporation Harrison Armory, I think it is, wants to get hold of her. We had been asked to run security to get her to a resistance cell somewhere. We haven't decided where. Our craft was ambushed. I decided last session, this is all going to be relevant, that the people who ambushed weren't from Harrison Armories. They were pirates that Harrison Armories may have employed, and that they had attacked us. They destroyed this craft. We were trying to move to a different craft that was picking us up to take us through, or taking Jen the rest of the journey. And at the end of the session, I think I said that Marquis and Viking would have grabbed onto the outside of the hull of the ship and continued travelling after we made sure that Jen was safe. Thus, we would open this session at the Resistance base. Now we would, because that was a mission and we did roll it, and the fact that it was just a one session fight is just by the by. We would go up to license level 3. Now I haven't done the character sheets yet for license level 3 because I've been doing other stuff. Mainly filming stuff about Daggerheart. But I think what we will do with Marquis is we'll take Marquis to the next license. So license level 3 in the Blackbeard. I checked up the stuff that I got wrong last session. We could not have used that core that I said we used, so that was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. We instead should have used the Blackbeard's core power, which is firing grappling hooks, and it technically might have given us the same sort of thing. We wouldn't have got a free move to do a boost, but we could have thrown ourselves away around doing grapplings and got some free distance movements, not triggering reactions, and that would have still helped us out. But I got that wrong. I've read all about that, so I won't get that wrong again next session that we have a skirmish. So, and Viking will take license level 3 for Goblin, because the hurl into the duat is quite a powerful thing. It gives an AI chip, which is quite cool, and there are some good support hacks that you can have, and we're back. Basically, I'm building Viking as a more hacking. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but probably we'll go towards trying to get some form of invisibility, so as Viking can start using the stealthy talents that he has. I haven't decided what we're going to increase in talents or any of the other stuff for the character sheets. I haven't gone into ComCon and done it license level 3, but that's the plan. But what we now need to do is, this is going to be a bit different, because what I was thinking over the last week is, okay, so what are we going to do next? What will Viking and Marquis do? We are with Jen. We have been travelling, because it makes no sense that we would go back to Waypoint Theatre. That doesn't make much sense. How do we get back to Waypoint Theatre? Also, because of the random rolls we've made, we know that there is a resistance in the area. Hold on, I'm going to have a drink of coffee. I'm all excited because of what I'm about to suggest. So we know that there's a resistance going on, and they are resisting Harrison Armory moving into this sector of space. We know Harrison Armory have hired other third parties to do stuff, such as the pirates that I came up with on a whim last session, but it kind of works. So the resistance know that there's these pirates, and they've obviously been causing problems because they hit that shuttle. So if they hit that shuttle, they may have hit other things. So what could we do with that piece of information? We've got pirates, we've got the resistance, we've got Harrison Armory. What the resistance might want to do is get rid of the pirates as a threat, as a tool that Harrison Armories could utilize. And what I'm thinking along those lines is, because on sale, and I put it up as a community post just recently, there was for Morkborg the Treasures of the Troll King, which I got. Now the Treasures of the Troll King is a point crawl. A point crawl being a type of random crawl, a type of presenting a dungeon or an adventure. So whereas you might have within Solitary Defilement, you could go on a dungeon exploration, you would explore around a dungeon and explore a thing, and you're following a path. Strictly speaking, if you take that line I just drew and you pull it out, you have a long single linear line with dots on it, points. And a point crawl is you decide a certain number of things that you definitely want to encounter, your points, and you do some random encounters in between. You might have one random encounter between your points, or you might have some sort of thing that you would want to roll and then decide whether you'd have more than one random encounter. So for instance, if you want within the Troll King it to be, so normally it would decide that you just have one encounter between spaces, and the spaces are fixed things that you want to encounter. If you want to expand it, it suggests you do a presence test between spaces. If you roll, there we go, nominate one PC to navigate and have them test presence for a DI 12 to successfully reach the next space. If you fail the DI 12 presence test, you don't find the next space in between the encounter, you find another encounter, and you have a couple of encounters before the spaces. So I thought, can we write a point crawl for Lancer? With that information we've got, can we write a point crawl for Lancer? So we are going to get into the episode and do some random rolls on the GM and decide what the resistance base looks like, talk to some people in the resistance base. We'll use the same sort of tables as we've got for Waypoint Theatre. We'll meet maybe one or two people. We'll do a downtime sort of type of activity. But I wanted to get this out of the way first because I'm quite excited by it. So what I'm proposing so I will do this. I will do my standard thing. I'll put it on a piece of paper. I'll put it out there for you to purchase if you so wish to. But nothing stops you doing this yourself. You can do this yourself. So I imagined, so okay, we're going to want to, and I'll run through what I'm going to do, and then I'll go off and do it. But we'll do this bit first. So the first few encounters of this point call will be next episode. So what I thought is, we need a few fixed points that we want to do. So we've got a base somewhere, which is the pirate base. So we want to get into the pirate base. Now, what would we do to get into the pirate base? We don't want to we could have a massive fleet battle against the pirates, which could be cool, but that's basically a tabletop skirmish. So let's try and avoid that. So what else could we do? So we could send in a guerrilla team, and Marquis and Viking could lead a guerrilla team to get into the base and try and destroy the base. So what sort of things could we do to do that? So first off, we need to get into the base. So we could have some navigation rolls to do some skill rolls to get into our point, and then we could have a fixed point at the front, which is some form of defense. Now I thought what we haven't done so far is we haven't fought a big F-off, boss type of mech. So we could make an elite mech and we could fight it in a stand-up fight. Now an elite mech, according to the book, when it gives you the sort of balance, so balancing guide for the DM to balance NPCs against your players, it says that one elite mech should be able to take on, oh no, I don't mean elite, I mean an ultra. One elite mech should take on one or two players. So an elite mech against Marquis and Viking with their 3 activations might not be, it might be a bit easy. Also, we do have that bombardment that we could use for that, because if we've got someone backing us up, we could lay in and use the bombardment. So I was thinking, I'm going to have to scrub out elite. I was thinking an ultra. Oh yes, an ultra. An ultra mech should take up to 4 players. One ultra is the only thing that should be on the board, and it has more than one activation normally. It has awesome loads of stuff, and basically it's going to be a massive cognitive overload for me to run the one ultra. But I was thinking an ultra mech, and I will do a NPC flow for an ultra. I'll try and work on an NPC flow for an ultra. So we would have our first fixed point, our first space for our point crawl would be outside whatever the resistance base is. There will be an ultra that will defend the resistance base. Awesome. So we either defeat the ultra or we get defeated by the ultra. We can foul forwards and we can say we eject, because the next point that I would want to be on the crawl is actually getting into the base. So so even if we get defeated by the Ultra, we can foul forwards and say that we're a bit injured or that something happens, but we eject and we get to the base. So the next point, so point 1 would be a defense, fighting the Ultra of some kind of description. An Ultra, 2 elites, so I think 2 elites will wipe us off the map. We might stand a better chance against 1 Ultra. But we might do a random 2 elites or 1 Ultra as our first point. Our second point we can do as an out of mech battles and some tech runs and some abstracted combat to get through the pirate base and actually get to the thing. Now, part of the Troll King actually has a site to explore. So it's not many rooms. There's 11 rooms in the Temple of the Troll King. I think it's a chapel. There's 11 rooms and there's descriptions. So I might do something like that, or it might just be some random rolls or a few abstracted rolls. But the point 2 would be the base. So what that would be is trying to get into the base far enough. It could be a space station, so there's an outer docking ring. So maybe if we get defeated by the Ultra, there's 2 fixed points. We've got getting into the main base, and then we've got the main base. So navigating the base to somewhere where we can plant explosives. So that central part of the point crawl will be out of mech, getting through, planting explosives, detonating explosives. Maybe we can have a team with us, like a little skirmish team. It can be a bit like Han and Chewie going on to Endor to try and turn off the shield generator, something like that. But we're planting explosives to destroy the pirate base. Center of the point crawl. Last point on the point of the point crawl would be extracting. So that is our normal extraction skirmish, where we've got their forces trying to stop us. We need to get off the map before the base explodes. If the base explodes, which is basically means we don't get off the map in the time frame, then we have a foul forwards. We can have detonation. If we do get off, then we can say we've destroyed the pirates and the resistance is really happy with this. All of this means that we still have to deal with Vera when we get to Waypoint Theatre, back to Waypoint Theatre. But it just seemed a bit interesting and a bit different. And we then produce what's possibly a solo adventure. And you can produce, so you can do this exact same thing. Produce your, I mean, I don't know why I'm telling you this, because then you're going to become competition for me on drive-through. You can do exactly the same thing, produce your point crawl, write it up, make it look pretty, and submit it to drive-through, and people can buy your adventure. I've got video evidence that I came up with the hitting the resistance base first. So you're gonna have to come up with your own storyline, but those points you can do exactly the same thing. For those points, have some random tables in between to decide what you might encounter, what sort of skills you might have to do, and get through. That is what I want to do. So for our next couple of sessions after this one, we'll do some random rolls in a minute. After the next sessions, I think we'll build something like that, and then see if we can play through it. See if we can have a point crawl with Lancer. So we've got a couple of skirmish points in there. We've got some out of mech stuff. So basically, I don't know if you noticed, but been working on a beats process. So beats is a story writing process. Though Cyberpunk Red talks about beats quite extensively, Artaud Zorin didn't invent the idea of beats for story writing. Beats for story writing has been around for as long as hills. Basically, it works in arcs, little pulses of action and narrative, action and prose, whatever. So most story arcs work that way. And we have been doing that. We've been going a combat beat, a discussion beat, a combat beat, a discussion beat, a combat beat. And so this is basically going to map out sort of a similar way. So anyway, that is what we're going to do. We are going to write ourselves a point crawl, maybe 2 or 3 key points with some little bit of exploration stuff in between. And one of the points I want to definitely be something that will involve an out of mech combat, so we can see how that really flows, and can we abstract that and have that as being a fun engagement. Hopefully that will work. There we go. So that's it, up to date. I mean, that's a bit of prose, but there's some thought for you, and you can think about this yourself. How would you do this? How would you map out this story. What would you put as a story? So now you need to incorporate, you need to give some reason to be in a big mech and knock heads against other big mechs. I mean, we can even say that as we get out, we have been able to get the pirate bases printers to print us, because it should only take a couple of hours to print a mech, which is waiting for us in a hangar. We could even, that was it actually, I'll write that down as well. So one of the other encounters that we could have as a battle, if we wanted in the middle, is a fight in a hangar. We can have, I'll write it down because I thought about it, well, I can't remember if it was the middle of last night, a mech battle, and if I don't write it down, I'll forget, in a hangar. So we could have it hangar in, because there's some really cool maps you can get for free. Like iCho's got a whole bunch of free maps. You can get them on the internet, that's a northern accent, just in case you're wondering. On internet, mainly I was basing that off of Peter Kay and his story about his dad and garlic bread. And so, yeah, like a fight in a hangar might be pretty cool because it'd be more confined, chucking yourself against each other. Some sort of, maybe it could even be, I thought, a recon or a hold the points, like a hold the flag type thing. That would work, particularly like a recon, because how that worked, we did that battle a little while ago, I think with the drillers. We could have that the thing that we're looking for is the controls to open up and allow us to get in to the actual station. So it could be, once we've triggered it, instead of holding it, we need to find it, trigger it, and then find a designated access point, get to the exit point, end of skirmish. We are then out of mechs, and the next couple of sessions we're going through the base in mechs. That was my thought of the mech battle in a hangar. Anyway, this is what we're going to do. Now we need to do some rolls to, I mean, we could just say that's what we're going to, end this session. We'll just make up some story and say that someone gives us a job. But let's use the tables in the GME and see if we can find out what our base is like. So I've got several different place tables in here. So I'll go through it. I'll do a bit of selling. Excuse me. If you've already bought this, thank you very much. A good few people have, and hopefully you're really enjoying it. And if you've got anything that you think I could add or change, let me know in a private email so nobody else knows you're complaining about the stuff I've written. So there's a few D20 tables. We've got space station, planetary surface, stuff on waypoint theatre, orbital platform or a blink gate, a military installation. So we really want to think, like, where is this? So we could use the yes/no table, and we could say we'll just go 50-50, which is a 10 or above. Someone asked about this table and said that 50-50 isn't 10 or above, 50-50 is 11 above. Yes, but on these tables I like to make a yes minutely more possible. Oh, I can't think of the word. Minutely more possible probability wise, because I want the yes to be more interesting. So you should pose the question to be a yes, because that's more interesting, and thus you want it to be a slightly more. If you look at Mythic, I don't really, someone suggested using Mythic. I tried with Pirate Ball, I can't get Mythic to, there's too much to hold in my head at the same time with Mythic to get it to work properly. I think I can fully appreciate all the work that's gone into Mythic, all the tables, all the logistics, all the probability mapping, the chaos factor, all of that stuff, but it's just there's a little bit too much in my head. Like, I have to, when I make a roll, I have to see, is it a double, is it above a certain number, is it below a certain number, is it this, is it that? There's too much for me to hold, and so Mythic isn't my chosen thing, so this is much easier for me. So it's slightly tilted to the yes. So I think a land-based pirate base is less interesting than a space-based pirate base. I think that if it's space-based, we can have the stand-up battle with the elite in space. That, even if mechanically on the table makes bugger all difference, thematically in my head, it seems a lot more exciting. I mean, it really doesn't make much difference on the table, to be honest. There's a bit of difference to heat. There's a bit of difference because you've got G-forces and you have to try and fly. So we'd have to rebuild our mechs to have EVA modules so as we could definitely fly, because we're not going to have those things will have broken, those 50% flight modules. And also, I was really lucky that I didn't roll a fail at all. Oh no, I think I did once and I re-rolled. No, I didn't. I didn't fail at all on any of those, which was like, I think it was over 3 or 4 rounds. So probability-wise, that's not bad. But if it had gone longer, I'd have failed at a key point and then not been able to move. Anyway, is this base in space? So 10 or above. 10, exactly. Yes, it is, and there is no major complications. So the D6 gives us, on a 1, it's a but. On a 6, it's an and 3, 4, 5, there's no complications. So yes, it's a space-based. So sorry, that's pirates. So pirates are space-based. Oh, we want resistance. Well, I was talking about the resistance base. Sorry. Is the resistance base space-based? Yes. But. So yes, but. So it's in space, but. On an asteroid, so the resistance base is in an asteroid. Because being in, so yes, it's in space, but it's in an asteroid. So we fly across, we've got this resistance space, it's in an asteroid. Have we got any descriptive words for, so I've got space station, military base, deep space anomalies. Let's whack in a D20 roll. Let's do 2 D20s for deep space anomaly type things. We've got an 18, subspace echo, all right. So they're utilized. So we've got subspace echo. So this portion of space is hard to navigate around. So navigation is difficult because it's within a space where there are subspace echoes. So the subspatial layer causes some disturbances and causes echoing. And we've got, I don't know what that means. It's like, well, I'm going to start playing Star Trek. I'm going to record that either later today or tomorrow. So I'm going to have to get used to saying words like this. A dark matter cloud, caused by a dark matter cloud. So we approach this dark matter cloud and we're a bit confused about what's going on, and there's a small bunch of asteroids that have been tethered, so they look like they're just drifting, but they're actually a tethered site, and we approach that tethered site and we find that there's quite a sizable base has been built into the asteroid where we dock. All right, so let's say this is a space, let's call space station. Let's just give 2 rolls on the space station about what it's like. We've got 1 AI core. Okay, so the whole of the center and the, maybe the resistance is run by, what is it, an NCP? No, an NHP, non-human personality. Maybe it's run, the resistance is run by an NHP. So an NHP runs the resistance. That works nicely for the level 3, because the level 3 of Goblin gives you an NHP that you can install on your mech, which we will be doing. 19 AI Uprising. AI Uprising might work with, so it's an unshackled NHP. So basically, I think that makes it legal. So an unshackled NHP is running the resistance, and we get taken, maybe we don't even get taken to it. We come off of the shuttle, docking with this resistance base. Let's roll on concourse. We'll roll some concourse. We'll roll a concourse person, and we'll call that 20. Aid Aspire, a union-aligned academic cataloguing the social rituals of mech pilots. You may already be part of her study. That's all right. So she is located, and she will be the one who will tell us about it. So Aid Aspire, I think we can give her glasses of Parsney. Parsney are this, where they're just perched on the end of the nose. I think Parsney are quite interesting for a character in the Lancer world. I don't know how to spell it though. Poirot wore them. I don't need to clean these. Hold on, give us a second. There we go, back. I must have incredibly dirty eyes. We saw a woman walking. We went for a walk to Coogee yesterday in the morning. And there's loads of people, like Coogee Beach, even in the winter, because it's cold. There are lots of people running around in not very much. But there was a woman walking her dog who had bright yellow. It looked like she was colourblind. Bright yellow track pants on. I think they were very blue Uggs and a chunky cable knit, deep red sort of mahogany, not that deep red colour, magenta, no, yes, jumper on. So very colourful. That's what this woman's dressed as. So she's very colourfully dressed. So Ada Spire is very colourfully dressed. She has an electronic, she's got a tablet, and she seems to be taking notes. And because we are new, she will approach Viking and Marquis and be asking them some questions. I think so. Marquis will do a read the situation. So Marquis will hear. So there's lots of activity, people running around. Jen has been basically taken off of her hands really quite quickly. They've taken Jen away to ask her what's going on. We have been, our mechs have just been left there. Some mechanics are starting to check over our mechs, make sure they're okay. Sort of basically doing the full repair on the mechs, making sure they're all cool. And we are basically being ignored. Marquis is going to do a read the situation roll. So he's got a +4 in read the situation. That gives a 10, which is an all right. It's a sort of a low level pass. It's not a difficult situation. So he's able to assess what's going on and can see the resistance, and he's going to talk to Viking and explain what his read of the situation is. That this is a resistance base. Obviously, it's quite active. They don't know about the AI yet. This is where Ada will come over and start talking to them. Now, we've got to pull the rank on Marquis. There's take control, which Viking has. Word on the street. That's talking to people and trying to get information just in a random thing. Neither of them really have people talking skills. They've got like pull rank, which is not going to work on her. She's going to ignore that. Take control isn't really part of this either. Hack and fix won't work. Invent create won't work. Assault won't work. Survive won't work. So we're just going to give them a base just to roll and see how they do. 3 is bad. So they're unsure. So she's asking them questions. They're not really convincing her very much. She will give them the information about the AI running. So basically we'll do, because this is the opening of the episode, we have seen them come into the base. So we know the base, we know what it is and where it is. And then we've come in, and then she is going to do the exposition that is at the beginning, like the cold opening, to say about the AI running the resistance. It's working for the people. It's trying to keep this area, basically keep the corporations out. Because if you think about it, because I've only just thought about it, this unshackled NHP will be shut down if the corporations and the union knows it exists. So the resistance in this part, because it's helping, it does analysis for them, it keeps them okay, and it helps them, and they help it. What should we give it a name as? What's a name let's give it a name from one of the playtesters who playtested Treasures of the Troll King. What have we got? Well, there's the Queen of Cups Discord, but there is the Queen of Discord. No, that's not going to. No one's going to like an NHP or an AI called that. I mean, Savannah comes out. Savannah. It's called Savannah. We're calling the AI Savannah because Savannah was the name of the person that released the NHP and allowed it to be unshackled. There we go. So we've met Ada, who is so she's a researcher. She's confused. She gives the exposition to Viking and Marquis, but Viking and Marquis don't get much information out of her. We'll give them some time. They'll go to a bar because I've got a table for that. Reds 44. Who do they meet? A Lancer shows off custom paintwork. You invited to join. You invited. So I think both of their mechs have custom paint jobs. Basically, they meet some resistance people, and the resistance people like their mechs, thank them very much for their work, and they get on well with them. There's not much else. I mean, we could do some of the downtime activities from the core book, but So we now need to meet with, so they're both sitting in the bar. This is how we'll have Savannah contact them and tell them about the job. They're both sitting in the bar, being a bit overwhelmed, thinking, how are we going to get back? Like, Vera wants us to do the job. We did this. Now we need to get back. We need to get back and do that protection, the smuggling job, whatever that job Vera wanted us to do. Like they're saying, we've got to get back and do that. Otherwise, Vera is not going to be happy. Like, we've only just got here, and Vera's going to want, like, it's going to get us killed. And that's when they get a call, and they answer it, and it is Savannah. Savannah is talking to them on phone. Let's give, because Viking is a hacker and does have knowledge of this stuff, we're going to give Viking a hack or fix check, and we're going to say it has to be at a 20 to succeed this, which means, can we push it? I mean, if we push it, which you're all allowed to re-roll it, then is there advantage to fight? I can't remember. Anyway, he's going to try it with, so the Viking's going to say, do I know this is the AI? What's that? That's a 13 plus a 4 is a 17. So it's close, but a no. Now, if we push it, we would then say that he annoys the AI, but we still want to give them this job. So all they know is the person is talking on the end of the phone, and the person is saying, I cannot meet you. We'll give Marcus a chance to do a roll to read the situation and see if Marcus can read the situation, who's also talking to this thing. A 19, they're so close, but no. So they're both a bit thrown. Neither of them know it's the AI, but somebody's talking to them and saying, thank you. You know, it's a masked voice. It's slightly modulated. They're a bit weirded out by it. It's coming over their comm earpieces. They're both looking at each other. They can both hear at the same time. And the person is asking them that they have work for them. Thank you so much for saving Jen. Jen is very important to the resistance. We need her skill and her talent to help us build better technology to fight against the corporations who are coming into this area. We need a chance to make, we don't want to become part of the Union. We don't want to become part of it's England leaving European Union. We don't want to be part of that. We want to just stand alone. And thank you for assisting us with that. Now, we are being hounded at the moment by the people who attacked you, who are pirate enclave Blackbeards. Blackbeard. Is that the name of the license? It is indeed. We won't call him Blackbeard then, because Blackbeard was a pirate, wasn't he? We'll call Redbeard. Redbeard, who I think was also a pirate. I guess had a red beard. Redbeard's Raiders. Redbeard's Raiders. They're causing lots of problems for us. They have done for ages. They're the ones who hit your ship. We are about to execute an operation to attack their base and destroy it. We need assistance from any of the Lancers who can help us. We need to get into the base. We need assistance planting explosives and then exfil from the base before the destination. Are you willing to do that? Let's think. Marquis and Viking, well, they want to get back to Waypoint Theta, so maybe they will say yes. Oh, this gives us a fail state. Then this gives us a fail state. The fail state is if they fail, they don't get a trip back to Waypoint Theta, and they're going to have to try and find some other way to get back to Waypoint Theta. If they do, they get a ride back to Waypoint Theta, and then the AI will ask them to continue doing stuff, helping out, and we can give them options of jobs moving forward with other license levels. Would we give them 2 license level for this point crawl? I think it seems fair. Where it's a stand-up fight against an Ultra and then an Extraction. I think it seems fair to give them, and they wouldn't get. Would they get a full repair if their mechs survive in between? Yeah, they give them a full repair because basically they can either get them built whilst they're doing the run around on the mission. Well, we'll play that by ear. But anyway, so the AI says, the Savannah, as this voice calls itself, says that they will offer them transportation back to Waypoint Theta if they are willing to take this job. And we are going to give both of them another chance to read the situation or the hack fix. So hack fix, this is Viking trying to identify, no, it just rolled off of a 20 as well. Viking is just going, yep, that seems fine to me, read the situation. Yep, they're both oblivious to what this thing could be. Maybe afterwards, Viking is going to do a word on the street and start asking around and see who this person might be, and we'll see if anyone's going to give any information. But they both accept the job, which means that between now and next week, I at least need the first half of the point crawl written, at least to give us a little bit of a crawl, a couple of sort of skill rolls, and then we can fight an ultra in next session. So they'll need to navigate, so maybe we'll need some sort of navigation. I think there might be navigation skills. We could bend, invent, create, or pull rank, as Marquis could start giving orders to do and navigate to it, and then we'll do an ultra fight. So I'll build an ultra. And this is in space, isn't it? So it's in space. So we need to do EVA modules, because both of them would know that they are going to be in space. They accept the job. They decide that they're going to design it. We will let them have their bombardment that they can use in that as well. Only on the way in though, because on the way out it will be different. So that is, they agree to, they say yes, they're going to do that. We'll do that next session, but then we still need them to find out about this AI. They've been kind of suggested, but they didn't know that's who it is. So we're going to give Viking a word on the street roll. It needs to be a 20. Yes, 22. Okay, because he's got +4 words on the street. So I will make note that Viking has worked out, because there is going to be an NHP in Viking's mech, and we might even give him the goblin and see how he goes with the goblin. What is the goblin's? Is this the goblin? Nope. What is the goblin's move? If the goblin's got a better move than the Everest, speed 5, it does. Okay. It's got a better evasion, a much better E defense, sensors of 20, so that might be useful, but it's got a really poor hit points in comparison, and poor heat, and it's next to no repair cap at all. It's got a 2 repair cap, so you cannot rebuild the goblin. Basically, if the goblin gets destroyed, you cannot rebuild the goblin, and we will have to use a GMS that will be printed in the pirate station. But Viking knows it's an NHP. So there's a lot of activity on the base. It's very much Hoth when the Empire is coming, people running around, stuff getting prepped. There's though it's a guerrilla mission, they are still going to have to sort of do distraction attacks in different places, which will then give them an advantage. But we can do the first part of the random encounter, then the ultra battle, and then we might design random encounters, and we'll see if there's a mech battle or not. We could have the mech battle be a foul state, and there's no mech battle if they defeat the ultra. I don't know how that fight against the ultra will go. All right, bit different, but we got a bit of story and a bit of progress, and yes, a lot of it was thought out, but a lot of the right rolls we did instead were random. So what it looks like, the fact that it's an AI, I hadn't considered any of that stuff. But the point crawl, I did think would be quite an interesting exercise. And you can see if you can come up with a similar sort of thing. You just need to do the first couple of bits, and then maybe grab hold of some of the stuff, like definitely buy the GME, of course, isn't it? And see if you can grab hold of the core rules and play through. There is, though it doesn't have the GM part in, it just has the player instructions in there, so you'd know how to fight battles and stuff, but it wouldn't have the GM specs. But you can use CompCon. I think the Lancer player stuff is free. if you want to get the Lancer player. Hold on, I'll check that. Yes, it doesn't include, so it's not the one this is the $25 version, so you can get $25 US on iCho. So I get no money off of this. If you get the GME back, but the free one, which is also on iCho, does not include the NPC creation rules, the GM section, or the setting info, but it does include everything you need to build a player mech and understand the rules of play. And you can build your NPC mechs using CompCon, which I believe that the full facility on CompCon will allow you to build the base NPC mechs, I think. Anyway, there you go. And then give this a go yourself, I would say. Always, though it's great, I would incentivize you to do your own creativity. Whether you be a subscriber, thank you very much for being a subscriber. I very much appreciate it. A non-subscriber, have you considered not being a non-subscriber and being a subscriber? Because approximately 50% of all my videos are watched by non-subscribers. Or a member of the fantastic Adventurers Guild. Thank you so much for being a member of the Adventurers Guild. I am going to start doing more behind the scenes stuff for you. I haven't done for a bit because I've been busy doing other things, but I will start recording probably that Forbidden Lands individual one, which I haven't spoken about again. I am planning to do that very soon. And that's about it, really. It's still just been a bit hectic. Thank you so much for watching. It was a nice bit of information, I think, and next few sessions should be quite interesting as we run through that point crawl. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.